I was a girl from Jersey. I'm a brown-skinned sister who was out here being true to who I was, and they wanted to change the image.
3LW, Newark, New Jersey, active since 1999. In the early 2000s, three teenage girls with sass, style, and smooth vocals burst onto the scene, claiming they weren't little girls anymore. Known as 3LW, short for Three Little Women, the group felt like the next TLC for a younger generation. With a platinum debut album under their belt, catchy singles like No More, aka Baby I'ma Do Right, and Players Gon' Play, and a polished blend of R&B and pop, they were poised to be the next big thing in girl groups. But almost as quickly as they arrived, they unraveled. Behind the smiles and coordinated outfits, tensions brewed. The industry was changing, so was the group. Their sophomore album, originally titled Same Game, Different Rules, was shelved by their label after disappointing reception to its lead singles. And by 2002, the group had its infamous moment, a fight over food in the back of a car that led to founding member Naturi Naughton leaving the group. From there, the story of 3LW morphed into a cautionary tale about mismanagement, industry pressure, and the volatile chemistry of teenage fame. It didn't help that the music landscape was shifting. Hip-hop was dominating the charts, pop R&B groups were struggling to stay relevant, and new artists were emerging faster than labels could develop them. 3LW's labels seemed unsure how to pivot them, and the group itself couldn't escape the shadow of internal tension. Naturi later revealed she felt ostracized, mistreated, and ultimately pushed out of the group by both management and her bandmates. 3LW's downfall wasn't due to a lack of talent. Adrienne Bailon had strong vocals and natural charisma. Kelly Williams brought energy and dance, and Naturi Naughton had pipes that could have easily taken her solo. But when the group fractured, so did their brand. The drama was public, and fans lost interest in the conflict-ridden group. Eventually, Bailon and Williams would resurface in Disney's The Cheetah Girls, trading in 3LW's edge for a more family-friendly image. Naturi took a different path, finding redemption in acting, most notably with her breakout role on Power. Still, for a group that started so strong, it's hard not to wonder what could have been had the pieces stayed in place. This is the story of 3LW, the platinum-selling girl group that couldn't survive their own success. What happened? Let's talk about it. Salute to Florida's _finest05 on IG for this request. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music. Let's get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. 3LW was a girl group from Newark, New Jersey, consisting of Adrienne Bailon, Kelly Williams, and Naturi Naughton. Formed in 1999 while all three were still teenagers, the group signed with Epic Records and quickly rose to fame. Their debut album 3LW released in 2000 went platinum and featured hits like No More and Players Gon' Play. The group gained traction through strong music video rotation, teen magazine coverage, and television appearances that made them early 2000s pop fixtures. Critics highlighted their blend of polished vocals and street pop edge, comparing them to a younger TLC. But behind the scenes, problems were already forming. The group's management had trouble navigating the shifting music landscape, and label support weakened when their second album's early singles didn't chart well. Creative disagreements and personal tensions emerged, setting the stage for the group's highly publicized fallout just as they were gaining real momentum. Stunt number 1, internal conflict exploded the group. 3LW's biggest obstacle came from within. As early as their second album sessions, tensions between members, especially Naturi and the team of Kelly Williams and Adrienne Bailon, began to escalate. Naturi often felt excluded both musically and personally. She was reportedly given fewer vocal leads, sidelined during key appearances, and treated as the outsider despite being a founding member. When their sophomore album Same Game, Different Rules failed to generate buzz, pressure mounted from both the label and management, intensifying existing cracks. In August 2002, those tensions reached a breaking point during a now infamous altercation in the back of a car, allegedly over food. Naturi claimed she was physically assaulted and publicly announced her departure shortly after. While the group tried to downplay the drama, the damage was irreversible. 3LW became known more for internal beef than music, and fans began to check out. Replacing Naturi with new member Jessica Benson did little to fix the group's image. The chemistry was gone, and the public knew it. What was once a promising trio now felt like a fractured brand trying to stay afloat. Even their name, Three Little Women, no longer made sense without the original dynamic. This growth stunt didn't just derail a second album, it permanently altered how the group was perceived. With the public feud came a flood of negative headlines, lost label confidence, and a fan base divided over who to support. Had the conflict been handled privately, 3LW may have recovered. But once the drama became the story, the group was no longer a unit, but a tabloid topic. For a group that came in with unity, this falling out revealed just how fragile that unity really was. Stunt number 2, the Shelved album, killed their momentum. After the success of their platinum debut, 3LW began recording their second studio album, Same Game, Different Rules. It was meant to showcase their growth as artists, more mature themes, more creative control, and a sound that pushed beyond teen pop. But the rollout was plagued with problems. The lead single, Uh-Oh, didn't chart, and the follow-up, Never Get Enough, featuring Lil Wayne, barely made a dent. In an era where radio dominance dictated relevance, the weak response led Epic Records to pull the plug. The album was shelved, leaving 3LW in limbo. Fans who supported their debut were confused by the sudden silence, and new audiences had already moved on. Without fresh music or a clear direction, the group's buzz stalled completely, and for a group that depended on visibility, losing momentum at that stage was fatal. The cancellation of the album wasn't just a label decision, it was a public sign that 3LW might not have staying power. When leaked tracks from the project surfaced online, they revealed the group struggling to evolve, still trying to find that right sound. Some songs were more aggressive, others too pop-driven, and that inconsistency may have made the label hesitant to continue investing and caused confusion about their musical identity. Meanwhile, internally, the group was fracturing. With no album to promote, no real tours to organize, and growing distrust between members, the cracks widened. The label's doubt only worsened the vibe within the camp. 3LW was stuck, unable to move forward creatively or professionally. Had the second album dropped on time and found success, it could have reset the narrative and brought the trio back together under a common purpose. Instead, it became a ghost project, a what-if moment that haunts the group's legacy to this day. Stunt number 3, the Cheetah Girls became the main act. By 2003, 3LW was a shadow of what it once was. With Naturi gone, the album shelved, and their fanbase splintered, Adrian Bailon and Kelly Williams made a career pivot that seemed innocent at the time, but ultimately marked the final nail in 3LW's coffin. That pivot was Disney Channel's The Cheetah Girls. The TV movie premiered in August 2003 and was an instant hit. It introduced a new generation to Bailon and Williams, now part of a fictional girl group alongside Raven Simone and Sabrina Bryan. What started as a side project quickly overtook 3LW in both popularity and purpose. Suddenly, the two remaining members of 3LW had a new identity, and it was cleaner, more profitable, and came with a built-in fan base. Disney gave them 4 albums, tours, and movies, something Epic Records had stopped doing a long time ago. This transition made it clear 3LW was no longer the priority. The Cheetah Girls gave Bailon and Williams a fresh start, one without the baggage of drama, infighting, or failed albums. But in doing so, it erased whatever chance 3LW had at a comeback. They stopped performing under the 3LW name altogether, and their final attempt at releasing music as a group, 2006's Point of No Return, never saw the light of day due to a lack of label interest. For fans of 3LW, the sudden shift was jarring. One day the group was promising a comeback, and the next they were leopard print Disney pop stars. And while the Cheetah Girls franchise succeeded, it pushed 3LW's edgier brand into obscurity and diluted their original legacy. In the end, Bailon and Williams found career longevity, but not as 3LW. That group quietly dissolved under the bright lights of Disney, never getting the closure or revival its debut success once promised. All in all, 3LW was a group with the right look, the right sound, and early momentum that should have carried them much further. Their debut went platinum, their singles were in constant rotation, and for a brief moment they felt like the next great R&B girl group. But behind the scenes, the foundation was shaky from the start. Miscommunication, favoritism, industry pressure, and personal clashes created an unstable environment that stunted their growth just as everything was taking off. Their second album, being Shelved, was a major blow. Instead of bouncing back, they lost steam, lost a member, and lost their way. And when the Cheetah Girls franchise took off, it became clear that the original vision for 3LW had been permanently sidelined in the favor of a more marketable, less complicated image. The group faded quickly, no farewell, no final project, no closure. Still, each member carved a path forward. Adrian Bailon transferred into a successful media career, Kelly Williams moved into creative work behind the scenes, and Naturi Naughton became a respected actress. But the group's full potential, that was never truly reached. Salute, respect, but for these reasons, their growth was stunted. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music, and I'm out.